Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Captain Tim Smith, today's Master of Ceremonies. On behalf of the presiding officer for today's event, Brigadier General James P. Rowlett, welcome to the retirement ceremony in honor of Captain David N. Smith. Please rise for the arrival of the official party, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation by Chaplain Matt Garrison. When the national anthem is played, military members will stand at attention and face the flag. Civilian guests are asked to stand if able, face the flag, and place their right hand over their heart.
Please pray with me, if you will. Lord our God, we gather today to give you thanks and praise for the many blessings in our lives, particularly for the life, the career, and friendship and legacy of Captain Dave Smith. Dave has dedicated his life to service before self, and we ask you today to return that favor by giving him happiness, health, and healing. Fill Dave with each day with the knowledge that he is appreciated and loved. Grant to Dave, Jessica, Jackson, and Kate the gifts of time, peace, joy, and love. Thank you for blessing all of us with the opportunity to know and work with Dave. Continue to remind us daily of his legacy of service before self and give us the courage to do the same. Bless all of us gathered here to celebrate Dave, and bless those who are not with us due to illness or service abroad. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'd like to extend a special welcome to Captain Smith's wife, Jessica, and their children, Jackson and Kate, and all of Captain Smith's family and friends in attendance or watching online. We would also like to welcome our distinguished guests, Brigadier General Kevin L. Vines, Director of Staff, Joint Staff, Arkansas National Guard, Brigadier General Leon J. Dodro, Commander, Arkansas Air National Guard, Colonel Paul E. Hara, Director of Staff, Arkansas Air National Guard, Colonel Sarah A. Stigler, Vice Commander, 188th Wing, Colonel Tina L. Lipscomb, Commander, 189th Mission Support Group, and her husband, Master Sergeant Chris Lipscomb, Colonel Mitch A. Long, Director of Human Resources, Arkansas National Guard, Chief Master Sergeant Ronald O. Boston, Arkansas Air National Guard Senior Enlisted Leader, and Chief Master Sergeant Donald E. Frederick, 188th Wing Senior Enlisted Leader, and his wife Kyra, and any other colonels, commanders, chief master sergeants, and all airmen in attendance today. Ladies and gentlemen, the presiding officer for today's ceremony, Brigadier General Paul Rowlett, Chief of Staff, Arkansas Air National Guard.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the 21st reunion of the 123rd Intelligence Squadron. Thank you for coming today on this beautiful day. No, in all seriousness, I know we've got some folks from Joint Force Headquarters and the other squadrons in the 188, but it's good to see a lot of people here from the 123rd to support Dave. As you know, it's probably going to be a little funny, those of you that know me and have heard me speak before, but in all seriousness, I want to say how honored I am that Dave asked me to do this, because we essentially started our careers together, same time, same place, in the 123rd. When I came off active duty, I joined the 123rd, and at the same time Dave did. And then we ended our careers at the same unit up at Joint Force Headquarters as well. So, and then a lot of time together in those 21 years in between. So thank you, Dave, for giving me the chance to honor you here today. Dave joined in March of 2001. I came in April of 2001. He went off to basic training, and we went off to Langley for a couple years after 9/11. And then we got back. Dave was in the unit, and we got to meet Dave and to see what a great airman the 123rd had got in Dave Smith. He actually, when he joined, he was following in the footsteps of his mother and his father. They had both joined and had spent time on active duty, and both rose through the ranks, similar to what Dave did after them. And so it's always good for us to see people that honor their parents by following in their footsteps, especially when it comes to military service. So in his early career, we got to see him develop as an imagery analyst. He had great skills as an imagery analyst, and later on we saw him join our counter-drug program. Pretty much there's counter-drug programs in almost every state across the nation, but I'm not exaggerating when I say Arkansas's counter-drug program was the go-to counter-drug program, and that's whether it was a counter-drug mission or whether it was a domestic operations mission, or in some cases even an overseas mission supporting our partners and allies. And so Dave was a long time part of that, and I know we've got some folks from the old counter-drug days here as well. We noticed a couple things about Dave early on. One is that he had leadership potential, and that two, he was going to be a superstar. And you know, the military is full of great young men and women. We recruit them. We recruit good people and we make them better. We kick a few out that may not be good enough, but we're full of good people, but we always have this group of people that just seem to rise to the top. And they're the cream of the crop, or the superstars, and Dave was a superstar. So as I was kind of putting together some things to say about Dave, I was thinking about, what do we do with our superstars when we get them? Well, when I think of the four things we do with our superstars, Dave met all four of those criteria. One is we promote them to higher ranks and higher responsibilities. And that certainly happened to Dave, and it doesn't happen to a lot of people, but he did it through both the enlisted ranks as well as the officer ranks. And so he made it to Master Sergeant on the enlisted side, and then we wanted to give him more responsibility and more leadership opportunities, so we made him an officer, and as you see him today, he's a captain. The other thing we do with him is we make them mentors and trainers. If you look at his bio, his military bio, he was the chief of training, he was a trainer, his EPRs and OPRs are full of great remarks about his ability to train others. The third thing we do with them is we send them out to other places so that they could take the good work that they've done with us and they could take it to other places. He deployed to Al Udeid. He also deployed down on the border to do a counter-drug and a border security mission. I was fortunate enough to get to actually go down there and see them when they did that. It was just amazing, the work that our team was doing down there to both stop cocaine and marijuana from coming across the border, but also stopping illegal aliens at a time that was critical, similar to where we are now. And then he also led some training efforts with the SEAL teams and their Trident exercises. And then when we had Hurricanes Irma and Maria, he led the UPAD effort that we had at the 123rd to basically collect data for the responders who were responding to the hurricanes. The last thing we do with our superstars is we like to career broaden them. We like to take them out of their AFSC and do something else with them. And so we brought him to Joint Force Headquarters, and he became the technician branch manager at HRO. And so he stepped out of that intel career field, and he actually started helping his fellow technicians with things like recruitment, hiring processes, benefits, and all those kind of things. And so again, you know, superstar all the way through. And Dave, I mean that. You were one of the best that I was ever able to command. And I enjoy that I got to serve with you. And then, you know, I talked a lot about his professional life. I know personally that he's excelled in his personal life as well. You can look at his Facebook page, you can talk to Jessica, can look at the accomplishments of Jackson and Kate, and you can tell that, hey, what he does at work, he takes it home as well. And so says a lot about you. And then the last kind of good thing I'm going to say before I tell a funny story is, or tear up, but is, you know, if there's one word that I've heard that we've preached and preached and preached for the last 10 to 15 years, it's resiliency. You're so resilient. I mean, you were resilient in the service. You've been resilient in the last few years, and you just stand to me as like a, you know, just a picture of what resiliency is. And thanks for being that example for us all. We appreciate that. So now I got to tell something funny. I was kidding when I said the part about tearing up, but funny story. Dave has a nickname. Do you know what your nickname is?
I'm trying to think of which one you're going to bring in. and some of them might not be appropriate for this setting.
It's okay. I've cleared this with Jessica already. His nickname was Master Sergeant Hottie. Hottie. Yeah, so we, you know, from time to time when we were at the 123rd, we would take people on orders at the 123rd from other units. And we got this little girl, I'm not going to mention her name or say much about her, but we got this little girl that was just smitten with Dave. And so she literally called him. I think he started out as Tech Sergeant Hottie, and he got promoted to Master Sergeant Hottie at some point. But the part two to that story, and those of you know Greg Johnson, this won't surprise you at all. At some point, this little girl had parked her car somewhere in Jacksonville and couldn't remember where she parked it. Now, that's probably another story in and of itself, but she couldn't remember where she parked it.
Layers like an onion.
Yeah, you got to kind of peel that one away, for sure. But Greg Johnson, being the guy he is, he just thought it'd be hilarious if he made Master Sergeant Hottie drive her around Jacksonville looking for her car. So for the entire afternoon, she got to live the dream. She got to ride around, all around Jacksonville with Master Sergeant Hottie the whole time. And so, Master Sergeant Hottie, you've had a great career. I applaud you for everything that you've done for the Air National Guard and for the U.S. And we've been honored to be able to serve with you. So thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
Thank you, General Rowlett. Captain Smith will now join General Rowlett center stage.
I guess I wasn't supposed to sit down.
General Rowlett will present Captain Smith with the Meritorious Service Medal recognizing his exemplary service to the United States Air Force and the Arkansas National Guard. It is customary in the military that when attention to orders is announced, all military personnel will rise to attention. Civilian guests are encouraged to stand if able. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, 1st Oak Leaf Cluster, to Captain David N. Smith for meritorious service. Captain David N. Smith distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to Joint Force Headquarters, Arkansas National Guard from 15 July 2017 to 1 October 2021. While serving as the Technician Branch Manager, Captain Smith masterfully directed all federal technician hiring, benefits management, and retirement actions for 890 full-time members. His valuable oversight contributes to a capable and ready joint workforce able to support national security strategy. He flawlessly orchestrated yearly joint Army and Air Guard technician incentive programs, ensuring over $2 million in cash awards, 19,971 time-off hours, and 399 quality step increases were processed for 1,775 of the state's highest-performing employees. Additionally, His astute leadership was instrumental in generating a culture of excellence in the state's onboarding process, resulting in a 25% reduction in the hiring timeline and clearing a backlog of 150 pay issues while experiencing a 60% staff turnover. Finally, his knowledge and take charge attitude played a critical role in the National Guard Bureau directed Air Guard full-time realignment of 12% of the Title 32 technician workforce to active Guard Reserve employees. His outstanding management of the bylaws and town hall meetings resulted in a seamless and on-target transformation process. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Captain Smith culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, remain standing for the reading of the retirement order. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents greeting. This is certified that Captain David N. Smith, having served faithfully and honorable, is retired from the United States Air Force on 14 December 2021. Signed, Director, Air National Guard Michael A. Lowe, Lieutenant General, United States Air Force, and Chief of Staff Charles Q. Brown, General, United States Air Force. You may be seated. General Rowlett will now present Captain Smith with the Presidential Certificate of Appreciation that reads, "For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Captain David N. Smith, I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to your country. You have helped maintain the security of a nation during a critical time in history with devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifices in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes for you, for your happiness and success in the future." Signed, Joe R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. General Rowlett will now present Mrs. Smith with the Air Force Spouse's Certificate of Appreciation. The citation reads, "Certificate of Appreciation for the United States Air Force in grateful appreciation presents the Certificate of Recognition to Jessica Smith for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which you gave, strength and purpose to your spouse's service, given 14 December 2021. Signed, Director, Air National Guard Michael A. Lowe, Lieutenant General, United States Air Force, and Chief of Staff Charles Q. Brown, General, United States Air Force." At this time, Jessica will affix the pinning of Captain Smith's retirement pin. Brigadier General Dodro and Brigadier General Rowlett will now present Captain Smith with a shadow box commemorating his years of service to the United States Air Force and the Arkansas National Guard. The box contains every rank worn during his time in service, along with a replica of his ribbon rack signifying his career accomplishments and his Air Force specialty badges representing his qualifications in the intelligence and force support career fields. Also included are the last patches of his military career while serving under Headquarters, Arkansas Air National Guard. It is also customary to present the flag of the United States upon retirement from military service. Finally, the Arkansas flag was flown over the state capitol on Christmas Day in honor of his retirement. The flag is accompanied by the Capitol citation that reads, Greeting to all here in the state to witness today. Know that I, John Thurston, Secretary of State of the great state of Arkansas, by authority of my office and on behalf of our citizens, do proudly recognize the distinguished accomplishments, services, and deeds of Captain David N. Smith. Thank you for your dedicated service to the Arkansas Air National Guard and the United States Air Force. It is an honor and a privilege that the Office of Secretary of State presents this Capitol citation to honor that service and the many contributions you made to the country and to the natural state and her people. In witness to this, I now authorize the official seal of this Office of the Secretary of State to be placed at the Arkansas State Capitol this 8th day of January in the year of our Lord 2022 and the year of statehood 185. Signed, John Thurston, Arkansas Secretary of State. As an additional symbol of appreciation for his service, Brigadier General Rowlett. Sorry.
The short one?
Pause.
Feels like a strange dance.
As an additional symbol of appreciation for his service, Brigadier General Rowlett will also present Captain Smith with a Henry .22 rifle. On the stock is a special engraving of the 123rd Intelligence Squadron, 153rd Intelligence Squadron, and the 188th Operations Support Squadron patches representing your enlisted and officer time in the intel career field. The rifle has been checked and equipped with a safety device for the purposes of this.
I had him add that, by the way. So for this one, I thought it would be very appropriate to have the former commanders of the 123rd, so Sarah, Greg, and Tina, if y'all could come up, that way we can present it and get a picture of Dave with the former commanders here. Yeah, we're very safe here, so we'll let you hold your hand right. Point it that way.
This way.
Get our picture
That
there.
is
Not bad, huh?
beautiful, beautiful.
All right, are we centered okay, or we need to? All right. Awesome. Thank y'all so much.
The 188th Wing presentation by Colonel Sarah A. Stigler.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Who did that?
A mixture of folks, led by a team effort of those guys sitting right back there. And what you didn't know was Dave came over and was one of the original members of the 153rd Intelligence Squadron and helped stand up that wing as we transitioned the two missions over. And so I'm really happy that I can present it on behalf of the 188th Wing, but as the former 153rd commander in that Rockstar team. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
The 188th OG presentation by Major Philip Stevens.
You're not gonna let me sit, are you? No. Man, that is very cool. Very cool. Excellent, bud.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you Captain Retired David N. Smith.
It's fine. I don't want to keep this too long because I know how drill weekends go. And 3:30 is turn into a pumpkin Cinderella type situation.
6 minutes, Dave. 6
Well,
minutes.
okay, let me hit this. Okay, y'all can stay seated, but in front of you, you'll find your hymnals. Please turn to page 182. Okay. Jessica said that wasn't going to work either. She said, terrible joke, but the situation I'm stuck in is that last minute they said it's going to be in church. Half of my material gone. So we'll just roll with it. I just really want to thank you all for coming, not only with this COVID situation, but with the weather. It makes my heart grow 3 sizes just to see everybody sitting here today, and a lot of people I care about, and I can't go down a row without having fond memories, and it's honestly, it's kind of dizzying right now, so I'm not going to look at you too close. This is a huge milestone in my life, and I just wanted to thank you all for sharing it with me. General Outlet, you made this very important. I told you when the ruling came down that I was unfit for military service due to seizures, I wrestled with it back and forth. I was like, oh, look, I'm ready to get out. Let's just cut the ribbon. I want to move on with my life. Let's make it happen. But I had one caveat, is that I wasn't going to retire until General Rowlett could do it. So we waited a few months. It took us maybe 4 months. But my admiration and esteem for this man, I can't even explain. He's been my commander, my mentor, my advisor, friend, shoulder to cry on, all that, and really, sir, I can't say thanks enough. And if you didn't make it, Greg Johnson was going to be the fallback.
So you could either go here or here.
Well, are we talking about height or quality?
Touche.
So one thing I'd like to hit on, I know we have several spouses and non-military individuals in the building. I think most people who are wearing the uniform understand that the sacrifice that we endure as the member in no way compares to the sacrifice that the families afford us. The families are the ones that are running the ship, making sure that I don't stress out on deployment about the kids getting braces, or we need to move to a new house, or this or that, or how we're doing in school, or are we in the right play group with the right parents? Okay, I spent a lot of time on TDYs, going to 6-month-long tech schools, deployments, LUD, Southwest border, and if you add all that up, it's a lot of years. And my family has been amazing through all this. So basically, family support cannot be minimized. You brought up resilience a minute ago, and the resilience that you tried to pin on me, I look at my kids. I'm sorry. Let me take 1 second. And all the things that were going to happen, this one never played out in my head. I knew I would have a seizure or I would trip over my words. Never was going to cry. All right. Jess and the kids had, I can't look at you. Stop. All right. So resilience. Okay, so yeah, I've got a fair amount of resilience, maybe. But you talk about 2 kids who have a parent that's in a car accident and then endures surgeries and 6 months, year, 2 years of recovery. You don't really have another parent around there to drive you around, to do things. Sometimes heavily medicated, so not always the best one to jump in and help out with homework. My kids have just surpassed anything that I could have ever asked for. in children. They've handled this with such strength and grace that I just cannot minimize that. My wife, Jessica, was in the middle. She was 2 years into her law degree at Bowen School of Law. I got in the accident. She took a semester off. She knew this was going to delay things. This was going to make things harder. It was going to put a hitch in our grand plans. Of course, more than that, she was worried about me at the time. So taking a semester off bothered her not in the least. She jumped right in there, was my nurse, my pillow to cry on, my best friend, my Netflix partner. You actually can hit the end of Netflix, if you guys didn't know. We did it. Jessica and my children have empowered me to make it through the situation as well as I have. And I just cannot imagine doing anything without them. And that's why it was so important for me to have this ceremony today. It's to show you how important you are to me. So, resilience. Oh, by the way, she took a full semester off, jumped back in, took heavy loads, finished on time, passed the bar first time, and she's now the newest Pulaski County State Prosecutor for the state of Arkansas. So, I mean, and you think about not only the resilience, but what she's imparting on our children and the work ethic and the strength. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's a second group of people here I do want to talk about also, because we're not born patriotic. You know, we have people who mentor us and groom us and teach us along the way. And I'll tell you what, I come from an outstanding military history and military tradition. My mom's here tonight. She retired 18 years back when they were doing the early out program, where they pay you a little bit of cash to cheat you out of some of your retirement. My dad passed away in 2017, but he had 28 years as a chief master sergeant and was the scariest, crustiest old chief you ever met in your life. And I think that's why I'm 15 minutes early everywhere I go, even today. He's scared. It was traumatic at times, but we'll deal with that later in further sessions, counseling. So my dad had 28 years. My grandfather was scheduled to come today. COVID has got him a little scared, as it should. But he started in the Air Force in 1950 and served till 1970. So since almost the beginning, because in 1947 was when the Air Force separated from the Army Air Corps, or transitioned into the Army Air Corps, we've almost had people in the whole time. And I'm really proud of that, and they taught me how important it was to serve and how important it was the job of not only what you were doing, but how vital everyone's job is. My mom was in admin, or my dad was in security forces or recruiting. They did a bunch of jobs, along the way. And, they imparted to me that this organization, this system we have, does not work with it when one of these goes wrong. So your job, your pilot job, is just important as that cook who's behind there. If the cook screws up your pilot food, you get sick while you're flying, the whole mission goes awry. Am I wrong? So anyway, I had some great leaders. My brother Chris is here, 27 years. I just hit 20. So if you add that up in my immediate family, we're talking about 104 years of Air Force military service. If my grandpa were sitting here today, if he were here and my dad were here. But thanks for all my friends who've traveled. I know it's not easy these days, especially with COVID. Okay, now we can get into the part where I'm completely unemotional. So these situations have always been awkward for me. In fact, I'm probably one of the only intel officers who doesn't like to hear themselves speak.
Why do you think it's funny, General? How does he think that's so funny?
It is funny. And it's true. Intel officers love to hear themselves speak, but I always hated the limelight. I always tried to make other people brief instead of me. But so the rest of this will be real short. This is not how I planned on retiring. Most, if not all of you, know the last couple of years have been kind of rough. But we're very optimistic about the future and future improvements on treating cancers of the brain, especially. Little side note: my son Jackson he's a senior. He's already been offered numerous full scholarships to different universities, and he's just waiting to pick. But he wants to go into neurology. So it's been a great ride, and I appreciate each and every one of you have helped me along the way at some point or another, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the work relationships, but more than that, I appreciate the friendships, and I'll never forget them. So thank you.
At this time, Captain Smith has some personal presentations for his family.
I think they're going to be bringing stuff in.
Finally, one of the most important duties as an airman is being a good wingman. Therefore, continue to look out for each other. Each of you play a critical role in continuing our legacy. Please stand for the singing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party.
Nice,
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremonies. Thank you all for attending. Please join us in the receiving line and a reception through the hallway to my right.